Hi, hello. Good morning. So, is my video and audio audible? Uh, can someone confirm me in the chat whether my audio and video is perfect? Excellent. Thank you so much. So, um, if my audio is not audible, you can very well intimate me in the chat window so that I'll make sure that my audio is perfect. So first, let me try to share my screen. So is my screen visible? Kindly please bear with me. I just wanted to make sure that things are perfect. So is my slide is visible? Can someone say yes? Okay, fine. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Great, great, great. So maybe now and then, if I ask something, please try to respond to me in the chat window, so that I can also make sure that people are listening to me. The first and foremost, thank you so much for attending this webinar session. So yeah, it is really happy to see the number of participants is quite good, even though it is on weekend. So first and foremost, I would like to thank TVA Research Consultancy, Mr. Ravitija Garu, and Vice College Secretary and Correspondent Sri Manikyala Rao Garu, and the Principal Dr. V. Sugeshwara Rao Garu, and the entire team of Kiwi Research and the participants for joining me this session. I just wanted to throw a few things and share. We have 1.5 hours in hand, so I'll try to um, uh, throw few things and share my experience with respect to automation, especially with respect to process automation. And I'll make sure that this session would be an eye opener, and this session would be a starting point for process automation and for taking it forward. So and moreover, this session would be like, so before going into the session, I think you should know about the speaker, right? So whenever before, although my introduction has been given, I just wanted to give a small introduction about myself. So I'm Praveen Kumar Rajendran. So I'm basically an automation consultant at Cognizant Technology Solutions. So far in this COVID-19 crisis itself, I have addressed more than 5+ webinars, and this is going to be a different kind of a webinar comparing to other webinars, because I'm going to show a few demos to you people and kickstart your things with respect to process automation. And I'm more than a technical person. I'm a writer and I am a speaker, and I have addressed more than 5,000 students and faculties across India. And I'm quite active in social networking sites. So if, you can search me as Praveen Kumar Rajendran in Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Quora, and all popular social networking sites. Probably you can know more about me. We are going to search me in social networking site full name. So I just wanted to take a quick dive into my session. So I don't want to make any delay on this. First and foremost thing which I came to know about this webinar from my friend is, I came to know that many faculties are attending this program. more the registrations have come more from the faculties and of course from the students also. So my session would be like, it would be I whenever we attend any session, any webinar or any faculty development program, everyone becomes student, right? So it's I would like to keep everyone on the same point, and I wanted to discuss and share things on an equal perspective, irrespective whether it is a student or a faculty. And this session is all about like it would be an eye-opener session for people who say that they hate programming, and they are looking for IT jobs without coding. So many faculties would be getting this particular request. Even I, whenever I address any college events, people that are, especially even computer science people, are asking me, is there any role in IT industry which doesn't have coding, which doesn't require coding knowledge, or which requires minimal coding knowledge? They terribly hate programming, and but still they wanted to pursue their career in IT industry. So there are roles in IT industry which uses less programming, and there are roles in IT industry which has very good scope, even though there is less programming involved in that particular role. So one such role that doesn't have, or that doesn't require much of programming, would be the process automation. So that is what I'm going to share. So this session would be very useful for the faculties. So if your student is coming and asking you, if your student is not good in programming, and still if he wants to pursue a career in IT industry, you can very well suggest this particular field in IT industry. And if you are a student, you can start learning things around this particular area. Try to master in this particular area, so that it would be very useful when you sit for an interview, when you come for your final year, or when you complete your engineering. So I just wanted to say, why automation? So many used to ask me, what is the role of automation in digitalization in India? What is an automation? How the automation is going to help in transforming India, or transforming the and help us in this digital transformation or the digital wave. So what is automation? Automation is, in a layman term, or in a very straight and plain. I don't want to go into the bookish definition kind of a thing. Automation is very similar. We are trying to mimic the manual activities into using a script or using a tool. That's it. So we are trying to do whatever the human engineers does. We are going to mimic, we are going to copy whatever the human engineers does using a tool, or using a script, or using a framework. So this is what, on a basic term, I just wanted to give a definition about automation. So regarding why do we need an automation? So when we have human engineers in place, why do we need automation into our system? What is the what would be the impact, or what is the necessity of automation, bringing automation into a system? I just wanted to highlight in this particular slide. So in this slide, I have taken a fictional data of Indian banks. So before 2010, not even before 2010, before 2014, before this introduction of Jan Dhan Yojana, so the number of bank accounts in India was around, let's say, there is a bank in one particular area, the number of bank accounts in that particular area is 10,000. But after this Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, the number of users have gone rapidly, exponentially grown. So zero balance account have made everyone to create a bank account in the bank. So when the numbers were very less, the number of requests that is coming to the bank, like for example, for putting an entry into your passbook, or putting money into your account, or withdrawing amount from, so these kind of requests will come to the bank, right? So with the 10,000 customers, with the 6 employees, they were able to meet the demand. On an average, if an employee works for 8 hours, they have 48 hours in hand for the entire productivity of the bank is 48 hours. So on an average, if it is going to be 10 minutes for one particular request, then on a daily basis, if 100 request is coming, it is not going to take more than 16 hours to resolve all the requests that is coming inside. But in 2020, it has completely changed. The scenario has completely changed. The number of people who are having bank account in the bank is completely changed because of this Jan Dhan Yojana. So if the bank account is getting increased, then the number of requests coming inside the bank would increase, right? So on an average, they have increased the count of employees too, from 6 to 10. They have increased. Let us say they have increased from 6 to 10. The number of working hours remains the same. The total productivity. I'm sorry. So the total productivity of the bank would be 80 hours, and the number of requests that would come inside would be very, very high, right? So earlier it was only 100. Now 1,000 requests would be coming. On an average, if we take 10 minutes for that particular for one particular request, on an average we require 166 hours to resolve that particular all the requests that is coming inside the bank. We cannot afford we cannot afford to lose customers, or we cannot say the customers to go and come back later, or we cannot ask the customers to wait more than a few minutes, because in the current digitalized world, it is not possible for us to do that, because the market is open and the market has become we have a privatized market. If there is a small delay in providing the service to the customer will go to another business, right? So we need to keep the business intact, as well as we need to meet the demand. So in this particular fictional data, there is a shortage hours of 150 hours. So additional manpower required is still 12 people is required to meet this particular demand. But if we are going to add 12 people into the system, into the bank, what would happen is still we will be able to meet the demand, but adding 12 people into the bank will increase the cost of the bank, right? So we cannot go something beyond the revenue of the bank. So we should have everything into the revenue of the bank, right? So we cannot add 12 people into the bank. Maybe during the peak time, the request would be very high. On an average day, if, for example, if there is an ideal day where they were getting only 10 requests, then all the 12 people would be idle, right? And if, for example, is it? Am I presenting? Okay, I'm sorry. Is it fine now? Since I went into presentation mode, I couldn't see what is the exact thing. Okay, is it visible now? Is it fine now? I don't want to go into presentation mode. Is it fine now? Okay, fine, great. Thank you so much. So on an average, this is what we cannot have more number of people into the bank, right? So it will increase the cost, and of course we need to meet the demand also, right? So we need to do something. This demand would keep on increasing, but we cannot add more employee into our system. That will reduce because we have zero balance account, we will not have much revenue into those accounts. We cannot add more employees and increase the cost of the bank, right? So we need some solution for this particular problem. The demand is very high, the number of people is very less. We need to meet the demand on time, because if you are not going to meet the demand on time, then it would be very difficult for the bank to run and the bank to retain the customers. That is one thing. So I just wanted to highlight the next scenario which is happening in the COVID-19 crisis. So in this COVID-19 crisis, what is happening in the US is something very pathetic. So I just wanted to highlight two things that is happening in the US market. Number one, the first image is the number of people who have asked for the jobless aid claim has increased to 6.6 million. People have requested that they wanted a jobless aid claim. What is a jobless aid claim? So government will provide some amount to the employees if they lose their job because of any natural disaster or because of recession or anything. So that's a aid given by the government to the employees. So now what has happened is the number of requests that has come for this particular claim has increased to 6.6 million. On an average day, this would not be the same. So on average time, it would be 10 to 20 requests or something like that, not more than that, right? But now in term of crisis, 6.6 million requests is coming into the system. But the number of people who will be working in the system would be the same or a slightly more in number. But still, we need to meet this particular demand also, peak demand. We call it as peak demand. We need to meet this peak demand also in time. If we are not going to meet this peak demand on time, this will make the employees to get frustrated. This will create a lot of problem for the government. So we need some kind of solution for this particular problem, right? So we need to meet the this peak demand. We need to make sure that the aid reaches the employees on time. And of course, this doesn't have any issue with respect to government or anything. So this is one thing. So, and moreover, we cannot add employees now into the system because of this COVID-19 crisis. Now many people are working from home. We will not be able to add additional employees to meet this request. Even adding additional employees also, these peak demands cannot be met. So the next scenario is there is 40% jump in online insurance sales. What is the on an average, again for this also, the number of insurance that is getting sold on an average day would be very, very less. Since it is this is a crisis that is happening in US, number of people who are buying this online insurance has doubled and tripled, and it is exponentially to 40% increase. So we need to meet this particular peak demand also. We cannot afford to lose our systems because of this peak demand that is coming into the system. Our systems should be stable. Even if it is not stable, we need to make sure that our employees are in place to make the system stable. So the agenda or the main goal or the main thing which I wanted to throw in front of you people is, in this digitalization world, the demand would keep on increasing. Number one, we will not be able, even if we are going to add more human employees into our system, we will not be able to meet this demand. So that is one thing. And if we are going to incorporate, or if we are going to bring a lot of employees into our system, what would happen is that would increase the cost also. So what is the ideal solution? So what would be the ideal solution? So if this would be the ideal solution, I would say. So employ more employees, it will increase the cost. That is one thing. And if there is no peak demand, then employees would be idle. We cannot pay for the idle employees, right? So that is one thing. Number two, if you are going to deploy automation completely, then what would happen? It will lead to unemployment crisis. So on a right ratio, what would be the right ratio for a future digitalized environment? Would be 60% of human engineers plus 40% of automation. I can hear some noise. Okay, fine. Yeah, thank you so much. So 60% of human engineers plus 40% of automation would be the ideal solution for this digitalized environment. In a normal environment, you cannot have going forward, all the environment, all the office, all the organization is going to get digitalized. So we cannot afford to lose our customers because of peak during the peak demand, or we cannot afford to lose customers when the number of requests is very high or something like that. We need human engineers also, and we need automation in place. So how this going to work, how it is going to work is plain, monotonous, straightforward task. Everything is going to get handled by the automation, and the complex ones are going to get handled by the human engineers. For example, if a request is coming to, if a person is coming to coming to a bank, asking for a entry into the passbook, he doesn't need to wait in the queue asking for an employee to put up entry into the passbook. He can directly go to a machine, and that machine would take that passbook inside, access all the details, and put an entry into the passbook and give back. So that could be avoided. This is one scenario which I am saying with respect to bank. For example, even in this passbook entry itself, the number of the number of entries that should have been made is more than 100, but it is in the last page of the passbook. The customer know that it cannot be entered in this. In the last one page, we cannot make 100 entries. So at this time, what would happen? The customer has to reach the employee in the bank employee, and the bank employee would issue a new passbook, and then only this has to happen. But if it is a straightforward request, directly it can go into automation and it can be done. If it is a complex request, it has to go to the human engineers. So this would be the right scenario, I would say, even for any environment. For example, now everyone would be sitting in our home and using internet, right? So there is a lot of outrage in there is a lot of network outrage. So immediately what people will try to do, if there is Airtel or Jio or any company, if you're using any, your network is not fine, or you're not able to call someone on time or something like that, what you will be immediately will do is you will open Twitter, you will post a tweet that my network is very slow, kindly help me, so and so, blah 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 thing. You will be posting that Twitter, right? So what Airtel has to do is, since this is a peak time for network service providers, so network service providers should have automation in place. So along with the human engineers, along with the network engineers, automation should have been in place. Then only the network providers would have been able to meet this particular demand. If automations were not in place, and the number of employees who are working currently is very, very less. Number of people who are working in work from home, a lot of everything is very less. If they add on automation in place, it would have been very much easy for them to meet this particular demand. If they have not had any automation in their system, it would have been very, very difficult. And I know that many network service providers are having automation in place. For example, if you are posting a tweet, immediately it will get retweeted or it will be replied back. So those are bots that are playing inside in the back end that are working in the front end scenario. So the ideal situation would be human engineers plus automation. Human engineers would be 60% to handle complex tasks. Automation would handle a straightforward task. So, and at any cost, automation will help human engineers and not replace human engineers. So if automation is not going to be in place, even especially during the crisis, what would happen is the number of requests going into the human engineers would be double, triple, and exponentially it will grow. So it will not be, human engineers will not be able to meet the demand on time. So this is the reality, and this is how a digital environment should be, and this is how, going forward in a digital wave, this is how the environment should be built. If you are building a new environment, for example, if you are starting a new college, if you are starting a new consultancy or anything, so you need to make sure that this ratio is maintained. Human engineers plus automation. The reason why this ratio has to be maintained is your demand would be, during the initial stage, it would be very less, but on a going forward in a faster phase in the digital environment, the demand would be very, very high. So you need to have automation in place. Okay, with respect to IT industry, what are the automation tools we are using? I just wanted to highlight the important automation tools that are being used in the IT industry. So this would be like, you can make note of it, or I'll share the slide. So if you are aware about these automation tools, I'm happy. So if you are not aware about these automation tools, if you are a faculty, you can introduce these tools to your students. So if you are a student, you can start learning about these tools. So one thing I wanted to highlight is, so if you really want to become an IT software engineer, if your students wants to become a software engineer, it is essential to know what is happening in industry, right? So it is essential to know what are the automation tools that are being used in the industry. So these are the most popular automation tools that are used in the industry. So if you want me to classify these tools on an application basis, we can classify the application into 3 stages. One is your front end, one is your back end, and the other one is the middleware. So we need automation in all the 3 places. For example, if you wanted to reset a password, what you will do? You will do it in your front end. Now, of course, the password reset activity would happen in the back end, in the database. So you need automation in the front end as well as in the back end, as well as that connects your front end and the back end. So we need automation across all the 3 layers of your application, and the tools we have a specified tools that will work on front end, that will work on back end, that will work on the middleware. So if you see UiPath, Automation Anywhere, Microsoft Power Automation, Power Automate, these works in the front end. IP Center, Microsoft System Center Orchestrator, IO-iShare, these works in the back end of your for back end and the middleware. So if you see the community edition is available only for Automation Anywhere. So other tools, you can have a trial version, you can explore the trial versions, but the community edition, what you can explore, what you can enjoy, or you can have an hands-on experience to understand how this tool works, how the automation works. Automation Anywhere would be the perfect choice. And if you see the learning sources, every tool has its own. So for example, UiPath as an academy, Automation Anywhere as a university. So UiPath, you can do certification, but it is cost. Automation Anywhere gives free of certification. You can learn from the Automation Anywhere University, and you can certify yourself. And other things, you can learn these tools from the YouTube videos. Lot of things, lot of sources available. So in this presentation, so I just wanted to give you some idea on Automation Anywhere, the tool which I'm currently using. So I'll quickly go into in these things. So if you are going to type Automation Anywhere Community Edition, so all you need to do is just type Automation Anywhere Community Edition in your Google. So this way you will land up into this particular page. So all you need to do is you need to fill all these details, your first name, last name, email address. You can use your Gmail ID itself, no issues. So once you fill all these details and click the get free community edition, what would happen is a mail will be triggered to your email ID. So this is how the mail would look like. So this is how your mail would look like. So in the mail, what you will get is something called control room and your username, and your temporary password will be given. So what is this called a control room, and what is this tool? Everything I'll just give you an overall idea. It's okay. So all you need to do is you need to copy paste this URL, this control room URL into your browser. Okay. So the first step is you need to register in this community edition and communicate from Automation Anywhere. You will get a mail in your mailbox that will have something called it will be having something called control room. So I'm just going to this particular URL. This is the URL of my control room. So control room in Automation Anywhere is like it's a brain, or it's a brain of your brain of the tool. So control room, as the name itself suggests, it controls all the activities of your tool. So right from creating everything, all the activities, it will act as a server even. So it works like a client server architecture model. So it will act as a server. You can download a client into your machine, a development studio into your machine, and you can utilize this particular. You can start developing your automation. So I'll just quickly log in into my So this is the control room. So in this control room, the first and foremost thing what you need to do in this control room is you can download the client. So client is something like it's a developer studio where you can start developing your automation. So once you download the client into your machine, what would happen is a connectivity will be established between your desktop client and your control room. So whatever the activities you do in your client, it will get reflected in your control room. So since it's a community edition, this connectivity is just a namesake connectivity. So only in the enterprise edition, the real connectivity would be established. For example, if you create a bot in the Automation Anywhere client, it will automatically get reflected in the control room. So all you need to do is you can run those bots from the control room itself. But since I'm using an enterprise edition, these kind of activities is not available. So enterprise community edition is only for getting an idea on what is sorry. So to get an idea on what is this tool is all about, to get an idea on how the development activities can happen. So I go back to once you click that download client, this one. So once you click the download client, exe file will be downloaded into your machine. So all you need to do is a manual setup of your normal software development, installation. What you need to do. So once you're done with the installation part, so what would be? I'll just re-log in so that you can be able to see. So this is how the tool would be look like. So once you download your client and install the client into your machine, so it has the URL of your control room. So it indirectly indicates that whatever you do in your Automation Anywhere client, it will get reflected into your control room also. So all you need to give is your username and password. So I'm just giving my username and password. So now it is connecting the client to the control room. So since like it would take time, since my network connectivity is a bit slow, yep. So now the login is successful. So what would happen is this is the front end. This is your first or the home page of your client application. So if you ask me, Automation Anywhere, it is very easy to learn. And it is very user friendly and developer friendly. You don't need much of coding knowledge to work on this particular tool. So as I said in the first slide itself, you don't need much. You don't require much coding knowledge. You would require coding only when you wanted to integrate your application with any other tool. For example, if you want to no application, and one more thing, no application can be standalone application. The application has to communicate with some other application. For example, if this Automation Anywhere should communicate with any third-party application like Gmail or ServiceNow, these kind of tools. Without communicating with other tools, this tool alone cannot handle, or this tool alone cannot survive. Just for those integration purpose, you may require coding. For using and developing bots in Automation Anywhere, you would not require much of coding knowledge. So if you and in this as an introduction, although it will not be possible for me to cover entire thing, I'll try to cover some basic activities and some basic elements that are there in this particular thing. So if you are in Automation Anywhere, there are 3 types of bots that can be created. The first type of bot is task bot, second bot is meta bot, and third one is IQ bot. So task bot is something, it's a minimum or the basic level of bots that can be created, where you can create your activities, or you can try to mimic your human activities into that. So whatever the human beings are doing, you can note all those, you can note everything and try to mimic everything in the task bot. A meta bot is something like a template. For example, if you wanted to create a user in an email application or something, what you can do is you can create a task bot and you can make it as a template, so that you can use the template whenever it is required. So whenever you require whenever you require a step to create an account in an email application, all you can do is you can invoke the MetaBot and use it in your taskbot. So taskbot is your main activity where you can invoke MetaBot into it. So the third type of bot, which is in Automation Anywhere, is something called IQ bot. So these activities, whatever we are doing using taskbot or MetaBot, these are not artificial intelligence incorporated ones. So IQ bot is something, it is artificial intelligence incorporated one and machine learning incorporated one. So if you wanted to have an in-depth artificial intelligence based automation and these kind of things, you need to have IQ bots into picture. So here in this for a demo purpose, like I'll just show you few demos which I have created for you using the task bot. So first, okay, fine. So before going to demo, I just wanted to explain three important features which is there in this particular automation inverter. So the first one is web recorder, second one is screen recorder, and third one is smart recorder. So web recorder is something, one of the key feature or one of the important feature of the automation tool is playback, record and playback. That is one of the, in terms of IT industry, the people call it as one of the sexiest feature of an automation. This is a term that the people will try to use with respect to this recorder. What would happen is you can record all your activities and playback. You don't need to even create. So all you can do is you can record all your actions. Whatever you do in your machine, you can record it. For example, this is what the human engineers will do. Then you can do all those things. You can record, you can save it, and you can play back whenever you want. So there are three types of recorders here: web, screen, and smart. So web recorder is all you can record all your web activities. Screen recorder, all your screen activities you can record it. Smart recorder is something mixture of web and screen. So when you wanted to have a mixture of these things, you can go for smart recorder. So I have just created few demos to show you people. So if you want to create a new one, you can select new, and if you want to use a screen recorder, you can go screen recorder. Web recorder, you can go web recorder. If you want to, if you don't want to record anything, you yourself want to create, then there is something called workbench. So this workbench will allow you to create a customized bot. So even in this creation, you don't need to worry about the programming or anything like that. All you need to do is drag and drop. For example, if you want an if statement into your automation, all you need to do is just drag and drop the if statement. So all the conditions are here. So if ping successful, then Google. So if you're going to give the required conditions here, all you need to give the inputs alone. So it will automatically write a code for you. So all you need to do is drag and drop. So you don't need to write an if statement, or you don't need to bother what is happening behind your if statement. What is happening? Nothing. You don't need to worry. If you need anything, you can drag and drop. And this tool is predominantly used for front-end automations. Okay. So this is all about workbench. So I'll go into the demo part. I don't want to save this. Okay. I have created 5 demos. I'll explain you each and every demo, so that it would be, you can understand what is the capability of this particular tool. So the first, it's a straightforward, or it's a okay, fine. What I have created is awesome. I've created just a message box. It's a message box is something like you can display some message in your screen. So what I have created in this message box is, I have just added a title for this message box as awesome. Why don't you create a file in cloud? Okay. So what I'm going to do is, for example, and if I have a folder called 1 minute. So I have a folder here called keyware research. Okay. So if I'm trying to create a file in this particular folder, it will occupy the memory in this particular machine, right? So I just wanted to give a tips to my people to use cloud, or to promote cloud storage than using the local storage. So just I wanted to highlight this thing. Whenever the user creates a file in the local storage, this is one particular task. So one of my clients was asking me to give a notification to the user if they are creating a file into a particular folder or a particular link. What message has to display is, please try considering using this cloud. This is what one of the requirements. So what I did is, I create a simple pop-up box that will say, awesome, why don't you create why don't you create a file in cloud? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trigger this one. So when this has to be triggered, whenever a file is created in this particular folder, there is an option called trigger in automation in there. So what this will try to do is this will trigger this particular automation when this activity is happening. So when there are multiple triggers, I'm just using the folder trigger. So whenever any file is created in this particular folder, keyword is such, what has to be done is this particular automation has to run. This automation will run and it will throw a message to me, tips to me to guide me to use a cloud storage. So I've just saved it. So let me show you. So I'm trying to create a text file here. Okay. New text file. One minute. So what is happening here? Awesome. Why don't you create a file in cloud? So I'm getting a message. Okay, fine. Let me again, let me create a new file. What would happen? Again, I'll be getting a message box. Awesome. Why don't you create a file? So this is one. It's a basic level of automation I have done just to create a. I can do it for deletion. All these things I can do. So this is a basic level of a bot which can be created. So I'll go to the next deeper ones. The other, if you're going to see other bots which I have created, it would be more interesting one. So the next one is, okay. So let me share you a thing. So what is the scenario? What I'm going to show. So this is something called. Okay. So now we are in COVID-19 crisis, right? So the government of India and each and every government is providing e-pass, like emergency pass, to the people who are traveling from one location to another location. So they have given a lot of restriction that so and so thing has to be maintained. Lot of restrictions have been given. One of the key restriction is in any transport, if it is a car or something, only one person has to travel. So what was the requirement is you need to fill this particular form and you have to submit to into a government portal. So once you submit this form into the government portal, what people ask to do is, if it is a manual work, what people will do is they will check what are the fields you have filled and they will verify each and everything. If everything is fine, they will issue the pass. If something is not fine, what they will try to do is they will reject the pass. Just imagine the number of people who are submitting this particular request would be very huge. We will not be able to maintain, or we will not be able to issue the pass on time because of this with the peak demand in time. So we need an automation in place such a way that this pass is provided to genuine people, and it has to be issued to the correct with the file that is coming with the correct format with correct rules and regulations. So now what is the criteria is only one person has to travel in this particular pass. So the number of person is only one. So and this file is a PDF file. You need to submit this particular form in a PDF form. And the number of if it is only one person is traveling in this particular vehicle, the pass will be issued. If it is not, then pass should not be issued. This is the scenario, and it is a PDF file. So this is coming into automation role. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try. I've just create a small automation. What it will do is there is something called PDF integration. So all your PDF related activities can be done. So what I'm going to do with this particular thing is I'm trying to extract a field from this particular. I have just loaded a sample file into my system. I'm just trying to extract a field from this particular PDF. For example, I have added this. I have selected the sample PDF, and I'll just try to. I have selected, and I have already added a number. So all you need to do is you need to select this particular field which you wanted to match. So now what I have selected is the 2, because I need to check whether one person is traveling or two person is traveling. If it is one person is traveling, I need to issue the pass. If it is more than one person, I need to reject the pass. So where that detail will be, it would be exactly next to the number of person 2. So I have just selected it, and I'm adding a field to it. So okay, now it is not getting selected. So so now I have selected the 2 and I have added a field. So now I have selected the value 2. All I need to do is I'll just add the field name, and even I can store it in a variable. So if you want, you can create a variable in Automation Anywhere, and you can store it in a variable. Now I have created a variable called I have created a variable called the number, and I have stored the value 2. Okay, so in order to create a variable, all you need to do is there is something called a variable in the left side of your automation tool. So variable, there is something called variable manager. All you need to do is, and you can create an add variable. So this will create a variable, and you can create a dummy variable. And what I am going to do is, I am going to read that particular value which is present next to number of person, and I am going to store it into that variable. Now what I have to do is, I need to check whether it is greater than or 1. So I have stored it in a variable. So I have dragged and dropped the if statement into my automation. So in the if statement, what I am going to check is, if it is greater than 1, fix that value 1. So drag and drop if statement. So once I have dragged and dropped the if statement, this is how it will come. So it will check if it is greater than 1. What I need to do is, your pass may be rejected. So if it is less than 1, your pass may be accepted. So in this scenario, what would be the scenario is, so now in this scenario, so the number of people traveling would be 2. So if this particular file is submitted to Automation Anywhere, what it will do, so I'll just run this particular directly. So what it will do is, it will read this particular PDF. Automatically it is reading it. If you see, it is running here. So your pass may be rejected. The reason is, the number of people in that particular, the number of people mentioned in that PDF file is 2. Hence this pass is rejected. Okay, let's see whether it is reading correctly. If it is number of people is 1. So I'm just changing my file. So another person is submitting a new file where the number of number of people traveling is only 1. So let's see this one. So I have created a new PDF file. So this is another person here where it is only one person is traveling. So this person is submitting this request to the government system. What the automation in the background will do is, I'm just saving it. So it will run. So it will run and show me. Now it is checking the new file which has only one person who is traveling. So what it is throwing, your pass may be accepted. So the one which I'm trying to showcase here in the example is extracting the field from the PDF, because most of the inputs that is coming into the system would be in PDF format or in any other format. We can extract and we can make decision, and we can this decision making would be much more accuracy, because, like, for example, it has to be, the pass should be issued to the right person, right? So we cannot reject all the pass. For manual error can be reduced, especially during the peak time. But we need to validate whether all the details are perfect with respect to automation. So this is one demo which I wanted to show. So I'll quickly go into another demo. I have 3 more demos. Okay. So the next demo which I wanted to show is my website health check. So this is one thing which is common that is coming to our to any software engineers, health check. So daily task is to check whether all the services are up and running, all the websites are up and running. So now what I have did is, I just wanted to make sure that my website is up and running on daily basis. Okay. So although there is an option called schedule, but since it's a community edition, we will not be able to schedule. We can schedule only one time, but in a enterprise edition, you can schedule it on daily basis. So what manually what people will try to do to check whether the website is up or down. They will open the browser. They will go to, they'll already new tab, if it is there, then it will be created. So www dot, type that website name, google.co. Any website if you want. For example, if it is my website, I'll just go to praveenkumarrajendran.in. So I'll just go to this particular site. I think I have made a mistake. Or Praveen Kumar Rajendran. So I'm just typing it, and I'll just check whether this particular link is fine or not, or even directly if I'm going to type Praveen Kumar Rajendran.in. So I'll just check 1 minute. Praveen Kumar R-A-J. I'm sorry, it's a typo mistake. R-A-J-E. So R-A-J-E-N-B-R-A. Okay, fine. This is some. Okay. So manually what I'm trying to do. So I'll go to the browser. I'll type praveenkumarrajendran.in. I'm just seeing everything is fine. So now I wanted to mimic everything into an automation perspective. So what I have did. So I have to open Google. So this one, what I have did is I have created using Recorder. So directly I've used a Recorder and I have created all these things. So what I have did, whatever I have did so far, now the automation is going to do. So it will open Praveen Kumar Rajendran. It will search in Google search. It will type. It will set the text Praveen Kumar Rajendran co.in. Then it will click the and all these things. So everything it will open google.co.in. It will type Praveen Kumar Rajendran.in. Then what it will do is it will click the Google search button. Then it will open the website link, and this is what the major one. Manually I can see whether my website is up and running or not, but from automation perspective I need to give a keyword. For example, if this word home is coming, then it means that my website is up and running. So I need to make sure that I need to give a proper information to my automation. So what I have given is, if you are able to see an image called home after loading this particular website, it means that my website is up and running. So I have made sure that this is something called assertion in automation. So it is not that your automation is working. You need to assert that your automation is doing the right work. So let us see how this automation works. I'm just running this particular automation. So what it will does is, it will open Internet Explorer. It will type praveenkumarrajendran.in. It will click Praveen Kumar Rajendran. I am not doing anything. It automatically does. So home page is available. So it is displaying your website is up and running. I haven't done anything. I have not touched anything. It automatically says up and running. So okay, how this automation would be useful for an engineer daily? For example, if a task of an engineer has to check 100 websites are running up and running on daily basis and give a report within half an hour, whether it is possible for one single engineer to do that. If an automation is in place, you can write the script, you can run it, you can check it within fraction of a second, you can complete all the tasks. So this is one straightforward thing. So whatever the things which I have used is, there is something called mouse click button. So what it will do is, if you wanted to insert a click, then you can insert this particular thing and you can do it. Maybe I'm just showing you demo of small bots which I have created. Maybe at completing all these demos, I'll show you a live demo of creating this particular thing. Okay, so I'll go to the next one, mouse actions. Yes, so this is one thing which I did today morning. So what this particular thing will do is, it will copy. So manually, what is the task which I want to do is, I wanted to copy the file called okay, so I wanted to copy a file called accept. This accept, I wanted to copy this file and I wanted to place this file in AVIT. This is the task. So in real-time scenario, what would be the task is, you want to move one file from one directory to another directory. This would be the task of an engineer. So I'm just trying to mimic the same. So what human engineers will do, they will try to go to keyway research. They will try to search. Now only 4 files are available. If it is 1,000 files are available, they will sort it. They will try to find out. Then if it is the file, then they'll copy it. Then they'll close it. They'll go to another folder. They'll copy it and they'll paste it. So I'm just trying to mimic the same using Automation Anywhere. So what I have did is I have just used the record option. So now let us see whether automation is doing the task which I have told. So what the automation, now I have triggered the automation. So now it is going to keyway research. So it is going to keyway research. It is copying it. I am not doing anything. My answer here. It is copying keyway research. It is minimizing it. It is going into. I want to place it in AVIT. It is thinking where I have think. So it is doing the same. While recording, I was searching where AVIT is. Fine. That is it. The task is completed. So if I wanted to move a file from one folder to another folder, what I will do? I'll just simply use this particular activity. Fine. Let us see that we will try to run this task once again. We will see whether automation is able to do it or not. Okay. Again, it is going to keyway research. It is copying this file, accept, copying, it is minimizing it, and it is going into it should go into AVIT, and it will paste it. This is what the automation would come. Now what we have done what we have done in the automation is just we have to copy and paste from one folder to another folder, right? We haven't incorporated this particular scenario, right? This particular scenario is a new to automation. So we need to make sure that we need to give proper instruction to automation. We need to think of all the scenario. If it is a human engineer, what he will do is he will select replace the file in the destination, skip the file. Since we haven't given any instruction to the automation, it didn't do anything on this, and the file is not copied. So what happens then? Although automation ran, it didn't perform the required action, right? So we need to think from human perspective and develop this automation. So what I'm going to do, what I have did is, so I have created a new automation. So what this automation will try to do, it will do the same activity only. So if after completing the copy paste option, if a window comes like replace or skip file, what it has to do is it has to click the replace button in the replace or skip file. I have given an instruction to automation. If this file comes up while copying, just click replace and skip file. Now let us run this. Now it will work. I think someone is presenting the screen. Okay, one minute. Someone got the control. I'll just stop my automation. Someone has got the control of my screen. Is my screen visible? Is my screen visible? Okay, fine. So now it is visible. I think someone took the presentation rights from me. So sorry, I think that someone has distracted us. Okay, only I am visible because I haven't started sharing. So So what we were seeing, we are just seeing a scenario if replace, in the previous scenario automation was not able to cross that particular step because we haven't think from human perspective. If it was a human being, what it would have done is it might have clicked that replace the file, or it might have taken some action. So we need to incorporate that activity also into our automation and we'll run. Okay, so I'll just run it once again. So it is copying. Okay, just minimizing it. Goes to AVIT, it pastes it. Now this particular things comes and it has clicked the replace and the copy option is done. So now the file has been copied. So this is how from human perspective we have to think. Still we can add a lot of things. We have to make sure whether the right file is copied. So we can add a lot of assertion into our automation, and we can make sure that right file is copied into this thing. So with this, I'll just try to create one live demo for you people so that you can know how these recordings are happening. Okay, so I'll just close it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record the web activities, web recorder. So I'm going to use something called a web recorder, and I'm going to record all the activities in the web. So now I'm going to create a new web recorder. So in URL, what I'm going to do is what is the website I'm going to record? I'm just going to give. So let us say that www.google, let us .bing.com. So what now I'm going to do is I'm going to create a live recording and I'm going to play back it again. So I'm going to start my recording with Bing. Okay. So Bing has opened. So now the recording is starting. So once it is done, it will record all the actions. So I'm going to select Telugu. Okay, I'm going to type yep. So this is what I want. Stop recording. My task, I will say Jagananaya. I have saved this particular task as Jagananaya. I'll go to Jagananaya. If you see, all my activities are recorded here. One minute. Let us see whether it works. No, okay, I think it didn't get record. Let us do a re-recording. Instead of Bing, we will select something else. Web recorder, www.google.co.in. Start. Yes. Again. I'm clicking Google search. I'm just clicking. Okay. Now I have stopped it. I'll stop it. I will save it again as Jagan. Let us see whether the recording is. Yep. So now what are the activities which I have did has got recorded. So if for example, if I need to search about Jagan in future, what I need to do is I'll just have to run this automation again. See, let us see. I'm running it again. So it is automatically opening Google. It will do whatever I did. Just type Jagan. Yep. So now what is the problem is it is not able to so it is now able to go and click Jagan Mohan Reddy and it has a Jagan Reddy and it is able to think, but it couldn't find where this mouse click has to be done. So what I have to do is I need to make sure that I have to insert a mouse click here to open this particular file, particular website link. I need to click manually. What I will do is I'll click it and I'll open it, right? So I'm just going to incorporate the same. Insert mouse click. Okay. So in Google search, capture, where I need to click, I have captured it, where exactly it has to be done. So in advanced view, I'm just going to double click, and I'm going to save it. Okay. So now I'll rerun it. Let us see that whether it is able to go to Google, search Jagan Annaiah, and it goes to the wiki page of this. Yep, done. Correct, right? So now I wanted to make sure that only Jagan Annaiah's, because Jagan Mohan Reddy is a name, I need to make sure that Jagan Annaiah website only, Wikipedia web page only is loaded. So I wanted to make an assertion here. So what I will do, I'll try to insert an assertion. If there is the if statement, if object properties. So I'm just going to capture no, it didn't capture. So I just wanted to capture this one. If it has not exactly, I need to capture only. It is not capturing the exact thing. Okay, so let me capture the entire screen itself. Okay, so actually that should not be the right one. I need to capture the exact photo of Jagan Annaiah. 1 minute, I'll use some other method. I'll use a method called image recognition. Let me try. No, this will not work out. So I need to go with object properties only. So I need to be very careful. I need to make sure that okay, it is not able to find. Okay, let me give another or we will try to find. Yeah, so I couldn't select that particular image, but I could select the text file. So in text file, what it is there is Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. Okay, so I've just saved it, the inner text. In inner text, I can find something called Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. File save. So properties, if this property exists, it means that it is Jagan Mohan Reddy's wiki page, or else it is not Jagan Mohan's wiki page. I'll just give. I'll just display a message box here. Correct page. If it is not a correct page, then I need to display that also, right? Else if not else if, I need to place else here. Else. So else what I need to do, I need to display it is not Jagan Mohan's page. No, not correct website. So this is how it should work. Let us see whether it works. I'll close all the window. We have given a session to check whether we are opening Jagan Mohan's website or not. So I'm just running it again. So it is opening. Okay, Google is opening. This you will type YS Jagan. It is taking time to click that particular. No, it is doing some. There is some issue with our mouse click. Yes. So we need to make sure that this everything is perfect. So there is some issue with our mouse click. So we need to capture the mouse click again. Let us see an advanced video. Double click, save. It was working earlier. So we need to be very careful. It is very sensitive. It is pixel based. So even if it is a small change, it would find very difficult. Let us give a last try. It is typing YS Jagan. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fine. It is finding some difficulty in clicking this particular. Yep. So what it did is it went into that particular page and it is saying that it is a correct page. Yep. So this is a live demo I have shown how to use this particular tool. You can explore a lot of options that are there available in this particular tool. So if you want to learn about this tool, what you can do is you can go to Automation Anywhere University. So this is an online portal which will help you to learn about this Automation Anywhere. So you can register yourself and you can learn, you can certify yourself using to learn about this particular tool. So I think I have come to the end of my set. Am I no longer a presenter? Okay, fine. So I have just come to the end of my presentation. So if you wanted to have a career path, so in the sense like if you wanted to take it forward, you wanted to take this as a career path, what you need to do? First and foremost, what you need to do is you need to identify what are the manual tasks that can be automated, number one. Then you don't need coding knowledge, that is okay. Then you need to start learning about the tool, which tool you wanted to use. Based upon your requirement, you can choose a tool. Then you can start doing certifications. So you can start applying. You can after getting knowledge on that particular tool, you can certify yourself with the same tool. They are providing certification. Then you can start doing mini projects. then after doing mini projects, you can start doing real-time projects using hackathon. So if you are going, this is how the career path of automation should be. So if you're going to take this career path, and if you are in a college days in third year or final year, and if you're going to do, if you're going to learn, and if you're going to be aware about these things and sit for the interview, it would be very useful, and it would be you will be listened. So you will stand out of the crowd, and if you are a faculty, you can suggest your students to take up automation as their role if they are not good at programming, and if they are very good at problem solving, and if they are very good at in logical thinking and all these things. So that's it. So now I'll just open the forum for questions. So if you have any questions, I will be happy to answer. So I just stopped my video. So my okay. So now, 61 chats. I don't know whether I have missed everything. Okay. So okay. So now I think yep. So now the forum is open for you. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. So you can post your questions in chat. I can answer. No questions? Is there any certification to do regarding? Yes. So Automation Anywhere, UiPath, all these automation tool providers are giving certification. So you can do certification. So that's what I was saying. So there is something called Automation Anywhere University. So you can start doing, you can start learning from this portal, and you can get certified in this portal. And this is the same with respect to UiPath also. In UiPath also, but UiPath certification is cost, but Automation Anywhere is free. So no more questions? Okay, fine. So so I strongly believe that network is our network. So if you really want to be in connect with me, and if you wanted to have a chat with me, or if you wanted to get in touch with me to know more about automation, or if you wanted to, then you can connect me with in any social networking site. All you need to type is my name, Praveen Kumar Rajendran, in full. That's my full name, and you can even drop a note to me to my email ID, and try to if you want, we can try to be in contact, so that we can take it forward, and it would be a mutual learning. So if I don't know anything, I can learn from you also. You can also learn from me. So thank you so much for attending this session. Is it mandatory to have knowledge in back-end tools also regarding an automation job process? Is it mandatory to have more knowledge in back-end tools? Yep. Now things are like sure, Dr. Ahmad. I'll share the PPT. Is there internship? Is there an internship? How MSME or okay? How MSME? Okay, I'll answer one. Is it mandatory to have more knowledge in backend tools? Yes. Now things are going like full stack development activities are going. So it would be good if you have backend tools also. Is there in internships? You need to search whether is there any internship opportunities available in this particular area. How MSME are harassing digital wave? I don't find anything like any MSME is harassing digital wave or anything like that. Okay, thank you so much. So looking forward. So if you have anything, you can always drop a mail to me. Thank you, Keyways research team, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much. So looking forward for future endeavors too. Have a great day.